She's very tired. She's been doing her 24-hour musical-a-thon. She's here. Bring her in. Hello.
Oh, hello.
How are you?
I'm all right. I'm okay. I'm a bit sore.
I said you feel like you've run a marathon. Feel like you've run a marathon.
I do. A vocal marathon.
But you put 8 shows a week times like 85 into one day, which nobody would normally have to do, so it's fine. So you can now have a nice rest. But you raised an amazing amount, didn't you? Was it 10,800 last time I saw
Yes.
it up to?
Yes. Can you believe that?
Yeah, amazing. So if anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, Amy and Gribby, who she lives with, did a 24-hour musical marathon, and they literally did like a different hour every hour. They had different guests come on, and it was for the Save the Children coronavirus appeal. So you can still go and donate. The link is on Amy's link tree, isn't it, on your Instagram?
Yes, it
so
is.
Go and donate. It's an amazing cause, and it was absolutely amazing. It was brilliant. I went on at like 10 o'clock, and I couldn't sleep, and I think I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, like randomly, because I had my blinds open, and I was literally like, I just have a look what they're doing. I literally watched a YouTube.
No, you didn't.
Like delirious. And I was like, amazing. Went back to sleep. I was like, I'm allowed to go back to sleep.
Oh my gosh, about 8 o'clock in the morning, we were just completely gone. Like, I didn't know who I was anymore. It was so surreal.
I was thinking about, I love logistics of anything, and I was thinking, at least you did it. I mean, you probably planned it this way, but like 6 p.m. till 6 p.m. so you could literally then have dinner and go to bed, rather than doing 6 a.m. till 6 a.m. and then having to deal with the day. Yeah,
definitely. I think that was a good shout. I just had a bath. I was like soaked myself in the bath and then went straight to sleep. So yeah, not too bad this morning.
Amazing. But apart from that, during lockdown, you've been doing your dance classes, haven't you?
Yeah.
Which have been very well. And you've had to, due to popular demand, do a couple for different time zones, haven't you?
Yeah, well, we have so many, because Six is so international. We have so many like American fans or Australian fans. So we were doing the one class at first, but I had so many messages going, oh no, we're missing it. We really want to do it, but it's like 3 o'clock in the morning or something for them. So
you're like, you clearly don't love Six enough then, do you?
Yeah, you get up I mean, some people do. We have Carl and Jem in Canada, who every week, I think it's 3 o'clock in the morning for them, and they get up every week and they come to class, and it's so nice. It's so nice.
Amazing. What else have you been doing during lockdown to sort of keep yourself going, keep yourself sane?
Well, the first couple of weeks, I didn't know what to do with myself. I was kind of like, not down, but I was thinking, what's going to happen? I don't like when I don't know what's going to happen. So the first few weeks was really difficult. But I think once I found like a schedule, like, okay, I get up and I'll work out and then I'll call friends and then, that sort of thing. A schedule has really helped me. Right? It's
also, you've got the dogs, haven't you?
I've got
so you can't just lay in bed all day.
No,
the dogs need to be fed.
Yes, but thank God for them actually, because again, that's something that I have to do. I have to take them out, and so we go on nice walks and stuff like that. So that's been really good as well,
Amazing. So let's sort of get into. I've got my questions here from in my Dear Evan Hansen pad again.
Oh, that's brilliant.
She loves a stagey pad. So I've asked people on the question box, and also I've got some of my own that I've added in there as well. So starting off, was performing what you always wanted to do from when you were younger?
Yes. Yes, I think so. I think when I was really young, like I wanted to be an architect or something like that, and then I realized that you had to be good at math, and I was useless at maths. But yeah, I always wanted to sing and dance. My dad was in like a rock band, so he used to like sing with me when I was like really young. And yeah, I just love to sing and dance around my living room, really. Like most girls, I would have thought at that age. Yeah.
Where did you train? How did you find it? Did you enjoy it? Were you eager to get out into the real world, or did you really enjoy it?
I had a really weird kind of way of getting in the industry. I didn't train. I went to Arts Ed for a month, and then I left to do this competition called the Voice and Musical Theatre competition. So I left college to do that, and miraculously, I ended up winning the competition. Like,
amazing.
Honestly didn't know that was going to happen, and that completely changed my life. And so I started auditioning for shows, and I got my agent. And yeah, so I kind of bypassed it. I do, however, now I mean, it's amazing how things have worked out, but I do wish I had that experience of training, because I think that's where you meet like your lifelong friends. That's where you know, really get to mess around and do things wrong. And I never really had that. I did all my bad things on the job.
Love that. And so obviously, like you said, so you got your agent and you started auditioning and stuff. What advice would you give to your sort of 19-year-old self about your career and like sort of what to do?
I think for me, it was a weird one, because I was so young when I started and I didn't know anything about the industry because I hadn't trained. So I did make a lot of I mean, I don't regret anything, but I made a lot of mistakes that, well, you would think that were a mistake. So I guess I would say to not put so much pressure on yourself, because I remember a lot of times I would go into big auditions and I'd really like self-sabotage myself because I put so much pressure on myself to be good. Whereas now, like, sometimes I do some terrible auditions, like truly horrendous. But I kind of think, oh, well, I'm only human, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, you're going to do things wrong, and sometimes you're not going to hit those notes. Yeah. And that's just life.
That's just life, isn't it? Going on to a couple of general ones, what are your top 3 musicals of all time? Like, not that you've been in, just ones that you love.
West Side Story. I love that. I used to watch that every day after school, literally every single day. I'd get make Angel Delight and sit and watch West Side Story. What else? Miss Saigon. I love Miss Saigon. And I love The Phantom of the Opera.
Amazing. Some all diverse choices there. Love that. And if you could only listen to one soundtrack for the rest of your life, what would it be?
No, that's hard, isn't it? That's really hard. Oh.
Not my question. The question of the people of Instagram. Don't. I am merely the vessel for this question.
I think it would be West Side Story, because it's been, you know, I watched it every day after school and I never got bored of it. And still when I hear it now, I'm like, this is a jam, you know, I love it. So West Side Story.
Bangers. And what is your dream role?
Do you know, I get asked that a lot, and I don't have one. When I was younger, when Wicked came out, I mean, that was just a big deal. You know, I wanted to be Elphaba. I really wanted to play that. But now, I don't know. I've loved doing like new stuff, like doing, you know, Pretty Woman was amazing, and Six is amazing, because no one had done it before. So I could kind of be free to do what I wanted. And I love that freedom. And
I don't know, I always ask that because it's always in the boxes, but I was saying to Sam last week, like, you know, 5 years ago, or like even like 2-3 years ago, like Vivian wasn't a musical theatre role, and you think like what an amazing role that is with amazing songs. And like, so I don't hate asking people that, but I understand that like there are lots of roles, but there's lots of roles that's like being written right now. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Couple of off the cuff ones. If you could live abroad anywhere, where would you live?
Italy,
nice. And what's your Harry Potter house?
Oh, we worked this out. We watched the whole of Harry Potter, the whole thing, while in lockdown, because I'd seen it years ago, but I couldn't really remember it. So I'd be, I think we worked out I'd be Hufflepuff.
Oh, nice.
I can't remember why, but apparently their traits, I can't remember what their traits are, but that's the one we went with. Who would you be?
I'm not a Harry Potter kind of gal.
Well, I'm not either, but I kept getting asked it, I think, because loads of the fans were Harry Potter, and I thought, oh my God, I need to work this out, because I keep getting asked.
See, I'm not a Potterhead at all. Like, everyone's like, have you seen Cursed Child? I'm like, no, I don't like plays, I don't like Harry Potter. So no. So coming on to the show, like this sort of, obviously lots of people ask about Six, lots of people ask about Pretty Woman, but when researching for tonight's chat, I found out that I had seen you in a show before, Legally Blonde at Kilworth House. Which I absolutely love. So I want to know, what was it like doing outdoor theatre?
It was horrible. It was cold. I was so cold. And it was supposed to, you know, we'd be in cheerleaders, so we had like nothing on. I was freezing.
If I remember correctly, I think was Legally Blonde the first, like there's 2 productions every year, so would that have been the earlier one? So it would have been colder than if you'd done like...
No, you know what? We weren't the earlier one. I think we were the later one, but it was just a fluke, like really bad weather. And yeah, we were freezing. And I remember I got told off because I put a cardigan on once.
They're like, it's not in your costume plot.
No, they really told me off. I was like, I'm not going on.
Because my friend Luke was Warner.
Oh my
So we drove from Worthing to Kilworth House and back again in a day. We came to watch the matinee. But yeah, so when I saw it, I was like, oh, I've already seen her in a show. So obviously we cannot not talk about Six. What was your audition process like for Six? Because obviously you were first cast, weren't you?
Yeah.
So did you know anything about it? Like, how did they sort of present it to you? Or they just like, there's this show we're going to do. It's more like a concert. I haven't actually seen Six, I just like to say. And I haven't listened to any of it either because I don't listen to shows before I see them. And I was planning to go just before lockdown, and then lockdown happened. So,
oh my gosh. You're going to love it. Well, I hope you love it. I think you will.
So how did they sort of present it to you for the auditions?
I think the breakdown on Spotlight said something like, a concert about Henry VIII's wives, think like Beyonce and, you know, that sort of stuff. And I thought, that sounds weird. And then the audition process was usually like with a massive show, say you audition so much, you know, you've got like 10 different rounds of auditions, and by the end of it you're like, oh, you know, you feel like you've been through the mill. But with Six, I think it was over 2 days and it was like a workshop, so it was kind of fun. Like, it didn't really feel like an audition because everyone who was auditioning was in the room with you, and lots of them obviously I already knew. So I always tell this story, but when my song that I sung was Rolling in the Deep by Adele, and all like my friend Renee, who ended up being it, Renee Lamb, and Christina Modesti, who also ended up being in the show, they kind of sang along the BVs as I was doing it. So it's actually like a really cool audition experience. So yeah,
I love that. You were like that. We actually come as a 3.
Yeah.
And if you want one of us, you're going to need all 3 of us.
You need all 3. So yeah, it was really good fun. We did like a dance round and then a singing round, and then we did like our monologues in front of everybody. And yeah, that was it. It was 2 days done, and then I got the part. I was like, oh, okay. It was really surreal.
Could you have sort of predicted the other 5? That's a really awful question. I just realised I said it. But when you were in the room, could you be like, oh, I can see. But I suppose you didn't know what the parts were.
No, we
didn't.
So
I'm answering my own question.
Yeah, we didn't really know anything about it. But obviously, like, you heard everyone sing. So, like, when Renee Lamb got up, for instance, you were like, oh, my gosh, like, she can really sing. And she's got such a great energy. So, yeah, when the cast, like, came out, I thought, oh, yeah, they were really good. You know, they were really good in their audition. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. What is your favourite memory from your time at Six?
I think one of my plugging you in before you disappear. I think one of my favourite memories. It was a weird one, but when we did West End Live, so we'd gone on tour, we'd done Edinburgh, and then we did West End Live for the first time. Well, for the second time, but I wasn't involved in it the first time. But and the audience was just mental. And I remember we couldn't, we had to be escorted out and all the way back to the theatre because there were so many people like just trying to like get us, and we were just so confused. So it was kind of a surreal experience, but I think that was the moment that we realised, oh wow, this has really like touched a lot of people, you know, and people are really loving this. And then from that point on, it just like completely boomed. You know?
I interviewed Charlotte Giaconelli last week, who was in Heathers.
Oh, yeah.
And we were saying that shows like Heathers and Six, although they come around quite close together, they don't come around very often. No. Where it is that complete, I don't know what's the word, but like just the fans are such a community. And it just completely overthrows anything. So to go from that then into Pretty Woman was, we'll get to Pretty Woman in a minute, but it was probably quite quite strange to go from Six being like crazy.
Six was crazy. It was a lot. It was, and it became like this manic thing every single day. It was just crazy. It's been an interesting journey for sure.
Like I know they had to do some rules about tickets and stuff, that because people were seeing it, like, so people were so committed, they were seeing it like every night, and they were like, right guys, we need to like actually spread this around, which is crazy.
Spread the love.
If you could be now, so obviously I don't know about the Six Queens, you were Catherine Howard, I know that, or Kay Howard. It's got off calling it Catherine Howard. Kay Howard. So who is Kay Howard based on?
So Catherine Howard, she was the 5th wife of Henry VIII, and she was the youngest queen, really. And it's interesting about her story because in history at school, like there was so much written about like Anne Boleyn and Catherine of Aragon, and then it got to like Catherine Howard.
I'd say everyone got bored by the end of it. They're like, yeah, and there was 2 more at the end.
And then there was those 2. Yeah, because that's all that happened, and I was like, what? Who is this queen? But actually, like really recent. Oi, no. Where is she? A dog. No.
I say, is that critical?
Yeah, they're I don't know why they growl at each other. Stop it. So yeah, researching to her, there's so much more information. Stop it about her. She, oh my gosh, magic. Sorry.
I love it. It's fine.
Magic, no. Keep calm. Carry on. Yeah, there's so much more information about her. She's really interesting, and what happened to her is awful. She was just a child, really, and then, you know, the king was kind of, oh no, done with her.
Done with her.
Gone.
I know, but so each one of the queens is based on like Beyonce.
Oh, right, yeah. So Catherine Howard is based on Britney Spears or Ariana Grande.
Oh, lovely.
Which
yeah,
is
now
amazing.
I know the picture with the hair. Very Ariana.
Yes, the hair was like proper straight.
Yes.
This was amazing. I was like, yes, get rid of those lines on my forehead.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
If you could be any other 6th queen, who would you be?
I think I would love to play Anne Boleyn, just because she's so well written, and she's like a real comedy character, which is what I love to do. So I think I would love to play her. You know,
so if you were going to go back, would you like to go back as Kay Howard? Would you like to go back Anne Boleyn? Or maybe you could swing it, but you could do like a little split track.
How cool
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, that would be so good. Absolutely.
Yeah, amazing. So moving on to Pretty Woman, obviously.
Yeah.
Iconic film on stage. If you haven't seen it, when it reopens, you must go, because I just loved it. It was like a star for me. Like I'd seen a couple of quite serious musicals like in the weeks leading up to it, and went to Pretty Woman, and it was just, and everyone was just in a party mode. They were giving you champagne as you came in. I hosted the red carpet for What's on Stage, and everyone was just so buzzing about the show.
Yeah,
it's so iconic, and everyone knew about it. That everyone was so excited. So for you, Vivian as a character, like, how do you see her? What's your view on her?
Well, she is an amazing character to play. Obviously, when you think of her, you think of Julia Roberts, right? You immediately go to that.
Not anymore, I don't.
Thanks, Amy. But like, when you hear Pretty Woman, and when I got the part, I was like, okay, right. It's not that there's pressure or anything, because it's a musical, it's a different form, but I thought that what she did in the movie is so iconic and so amazing, that I thought, right, I've really got to kind of put my own stamp on it. But she's brilliant because she has so many different sides of her. She's funny, but she's also really goofy. She's sexy, but she's also, she's really like wholesome, and so she's got so many amazing sides to her. My favourite being that she's a bit of a geek, because I'm definitely a bit of a geek.
Oh, that's amazing. So what's your favourite moment from within the show? Like, what do you get excited about before you go on? Like, yeah, come on, it's this bit now.
I mean, the songs are pretty cool. I really like the songs. I love like power ballads and like rock songs. So yeah, I love singing Bryan Adams stuff. That was really cool. But the scenes are amazing. And working with Danny, who's amazing to work with, like, he's such a good actor. That was so special, because we just really like sort of bounced off each other, and to do those scenes was so much fun. So yeah, I love it.
Amazing. Have you had like a pinch me moment? Like, I know you had something, like, you've had, obviously launching a new show is amazing. Launching a new show that is such an iconic show as well must be amazing. But is there any bits where you've been like, wow, okay, cool?
Do you know what? There were so many, and they happened like every day. I was just like, what is going on? And it's the whole lockdown thing's been actually really good for me, because it's given me time to pause and actually go, wow, what, you did that? Because at the time it was so chaotic, and it's the first like massive big role that I've done in a big West End show. It's what I've always wanted since I was a child, but I never got time to really process it, because it all happened so quickly. But now I've had the time, and I'm like, oh my God, like what? You're playing Vivian Ward in Pretty Woman on the West End. Like this is mental. But yeah, definitely like opening night when I met you was like, whoa, this is crazy. That was a big pinch me moment, I think.
Like, I mean, and presenting all at the What's on Stage Awards as well the night before, which was
Because
that's what I got mean about like taking time to pause, like because like What's on Stage Awards happened, and then Pretty Woman was the next night. It was like go, and then I was one night I was walking around my road listening to a song that we listened to at like the after party of the What's on Stage Awards, and I was like, oh, I like presenting an award on stage. Like, I hadn't even like actually thought about this. This is so weird. But so you have to take time. Was it when you obviously found out you got the part and you did that beautiful photo shoot with Danny? Was it really hard? Like, obviously, I'm guessing you told like your very close friends and family. Yeah. When everyone, oh, so what are you doing now? What are you doing next? Which everyone asks everyone. And I know from like, my friends in the industry, I shouldn't ask people that. But and you're like, I don't know. Like, was it really hard to like not tell people?
Yeah, it was really difficult. I'm not going to lie, because it was for me, it was just a massive deal, you know, and I really didn't think I'd got the part. So everyone knew that I was kind of auditioning for it, but I thought, nah, that's not going to happen. Like, I'm definitely not going to get that. So when I did, I was so shocked. So of course I was like, oh my God, I told my mum, obviously.
Yeah.
But like some, you know, people that I didn't tell, and they'd be like, you know, what are you doing? Or what are you up to? And I'm like, nothing, no, just, it was so difficult. And it took so long for the news to come out. So I had to hold my tongue for a very long time.
And also, obviously, once like everyone knew that Samantha wasn't doing it, then everyone was, I know when I like having been around people and stuff, everyone's like, I don't know who's getting it. Do we know who's getting it? Who's going? Do we know who's down to the finals for it? Like, so the buzz around it. You're like, I don't know. Let's just not talk about it. Do you have a pre-show ritual?
Wolfie, no, sit. No, do you know what? I don't. Like lots of people do, don't they? But I just kind of go with the flow. Do you know what? With Pretty Woman, there was no time because you've got to get the wig on. So people are doing, you know, everyone's putting your wig on, then they've got to put the makeup on, and then it's like, it's Act 1 beginners and you're off, and I'm like, oh, okay. So no, I don't, you know.
I suppose, well, for us asking the questions, we're like, oh, it's such a massive thing. Like, what's your pre-show ritual? Whereas, like, that would be like me saying to someone who works in an office, okay, so what do you do from when you wake up to when you sit at your desk? Like, and it's just normal life. Do you have any funny onstage moments from any of the shows you've done, or any onstage mishaps?
Oh, loads. I'm awful. I always, loads. Six, there was loads in Six. Completely blanked one day, you know, completely forgot my line and just went, oh, sorry. I don't know why I did that. I've fallen over. I fell over a vocal monitor once and passed out, and my legs were sticking out of the wing, so all you could see were legs. And no one noticed, because it was a concert tour, so there was no dressers or anything, no one backstage, so no one noticed. I was out cold for a whole number, just my little legs sticking out.
Oh my God. You just see like someone drag you.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So funny.
I love that. I've got a couple more questions. I'm going to let you go because you need to go and rest after you're done. What would you say is the hardest show you've done?
Six was really hard. Six was really hard because it was like doing a HIIT workout, you know? And once you got on the train, you couldn't get off of it because you don't leave the stage. It's only 75 minutes long, which I know sounds like, it's nothing. But
it is. You wouldn't just, if you saw a 75-minute HIIT workout on YouTube, you'd be like, no, I'm all right, I'll just find
I'm fine. I'm fine, thanks. So that was difficult. And we did 9 shows a week and sometimes 10 shows a week. So it was difficult. Wow. That's the toughest, I think.
Did you get shows off in that time? Or was it just real?
Sometimes we did all 10, and then sometimes they'd like swing you off and put the alternate on, like, because you needed a break. But yeah, it was hard.
Thing. What's your favourite non-musical song? As in not from a musical, not like a cappella rap.
I really like Kiss from a Rose, Seal.
Oh, Seal, yeah.
But it's quite theatrical, so that's probably why I like it.
It is, yeah.
It is. It could
where
be
it starts, where it builds.
Yeah.
Who inspires you the most?
Gribby's going. Gribby? No. Do you know, I don't know. And this is another question I get asked a lot. I don't have like a, I mean, my favourite band is Aerosmith, and I love Steven Tyler. But I like.
I love how you correct that to Stephen. Like, I'm not his friend, Steve.
No, Steve, my mate.
Mr. Steven Tyler.
Yeah, so I don't really know. I have lots of people that I admire, you know, actresses and things like that, but I don't have like one that I'm like, that's the one. You know?
That's good. A little bit of everyone.
Yeah.
And our final question: what are you missing the most about theatre?
Oh, I think I miss the like every day something different happens and you just don't know what's going to happen. You might get a call and your whole life has changed. Like I love that. So yeah, every day is just completely different. You don't know what's going to be thrown at you, and that's what I miss.
Oh, amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And guys, don't forget to go and donate some money if you haven't for Save the Children. And hopefully we'll all be back in the Piccadilly Theatre soon, having a lovely old time.
Absolutely. See you there.
And thank you all for joining us to watch. And thank you, Amy.
See
you later.
Bye.